Whose voice is it beckoning you to the edge of the sea? Is it yours or the song of the ocean? Are there two voices, or does this chorus come from inside and out? This is the love song you have never forgotten, but you could never quite remember. Where is this deep, deep longing? Why have you been standing on the shore, waiting for your return when you have never left? There is no safe harbor anymore. There is no more pretending everything is all right. You have heard your name called, and you cannot turn back. Everywhere you turn, there is nothing but vastness, and you realize it has always been this way. It was a beautiful dream that there were edges to the sea, and a sailing ship, and clouds, and sun, and wind, and direction, and a destination, and a tomorrow. You cannot know the words or catch the song that sings you. You feel its fluidity, and I can see you swaying to its rhythmless rhythm. You are so stunningly beautiful, dancing with the sea and the wind and the light as they flow through you. You have lost the longing to catch your reflection. There was never anyone who had an ache for freedom. There was no one to be free or bound. The knots untied themselves and revealed an edgeless wasteland where no one lived or loved, and you found yourself again, dancing between love and nothing at all. Oh my, here you are. Welcome home. I love you. Empty candy wrappers, wind flowers on the beach, dance with their shadows, kiss their reflection in the wet sands. Dance is its movement, as wind, as mind, as life, a fluid dreamscape of light and shadow, reaching out to taste itself through your lips, your tongue, your beautiful eyes. Sliding daydreams, windows on the sea, no safe harbor, no one to land, no one to seek, nowhere to search for that which does not exist. Mirrors broken, shards of sky pierced their own reflection. Love bled into itself, unclothed of nothing at all. She discovered she was this nakedness that no one wore. No hangers, no closet, no room. She had no home, not even emptiness, that no one lost or found. Only a shadow drifting across the threshold between love and nothing at all. There is nothing under the tattoo. Blood and bones and muscles and love are words. Wind sings through your eyes and the treetops dancing. Like this, love whispers your name. What you feared the most was your silent call to not be heard or answered. Here I am, sings the wind. Am I not your gentle caress, your tender breath? Footsteps in the dark, echoes on the sand. No waves can be lost or found in this sea of dreams. The call of your loneliness comes back to you, the sound of the universe weeping at its own beauty. First crows, first light, soft breath of morning, waves and waves and waves, a distant fishing boat heading out to sea. This beauty, this beauty, this beauty. Life happening all by itself, joy, sorrow, love, loss of love, life and death. We share this beautiful humanness, this ache of our aliveness. Silver light, sliding water, no moon, no sun, no sky. Tears, love's jewelry, your only adornment. Prisms loosed their color on the glass that broke when you drank your reflection. In the dead of night, no hope, no fear, no time. Walking through memories of moon, a shadow resplendent in its own light. Summer sun dances in pools of whispers. You know the words. You cannot echo. They fill your chest as it explodes into the treasure of simply this. Your world collapsed, the curtain pulled back. There was nothing left, no one to wear the clothes of meaninglessness. Time fell through time, slipped through timelessness. Sound reverberated in its own absence. Light reflected its own luminescence. Night spiraled into the edge of day. Beauty melted the edges between I am and we are. The tornado of song that splits not even nothing into everything remains. As you lightly step out into the edgelessness, every footfall blooms into an unknowable universe singing with an unspeakable iridescence. You are this raw nakedness feeling deeply. No one wears it. There are no secret pockets to hide in, no one left to hide. Life ignites itself as it flows through you, unafraid of love, of life, of death. Sea slammed you into sky, sky into sea, in this utter vacancy between the horizon, where there is no sorrow, nor joy, nor love, nor anyone to feel, nor any when, nor anywhere. Midnight heard its echo in this ancient song of vast desert wastelands, of waves of endless sand and ocean and sky, this never remembered, never forgotten, all embracing kiss. You have never left nor entered. There is no door or window or wall. This infinite spaciousness has no ceiling, no floor, no path, no way. Running and laughing through the shallow waves, sun smiles. A child picks up a shell. Your very own heartbeat, the song of the universe. Across the horizon, birds awaken. What is the song of darkness when no one is listening? Midnight reveals star songs. What is the sound of wonder when it has no name? Footfalls in the dark echo in your empty heart. Love washed away in the tides of longing. It cannot be found, as it is everywhere and nowhere. It kisses you full on the mouth and breathes you. Walking through sky reflection, sky slides through no sky. No contradiction, not an empty song, nor full. A child left his empty bucket on the beach. Was it very long ago? Time fell into itself, and sky swallowed you. I am not here to paint a smile on the moon or fill your empty heart. I am a mirror to show you love's devastatingly beautiful reflection and the utter emptiness you long for and feel. Drawer of dreams, unopened curtains, sunlight slides down your face, cast shadows, pool in your footfalls where echoes bloom. Stillness ripples across the sounds of yesterday, pirouetting into itself, today sings, melody and words burnt as they appear, ashes of moonlight. Fleeting reflection of sky in sky. Nothing is held, not even the clouds, or beauty. Words are transparent slideshows. They cannot lasso a piece of sky. They cannot see themselves or their echo. After images dance in a mirror, it melts into its own reflection. Knots untie themselves, ropes dissolve, yet the sky does not fall into an empty pocket of moon. On a distant shore beyond the horizon, waiting for yourself to return, silence sings. Waves have erased your footsteps and the stars. No dots to connect into familiar patterns. The path has collapsed. No safe harbor can be found. The very ground is moving like water. Time forgot to say goodbye. There is no retreat this time. This is not a glimpse. The war is over. This ocean of your tears, your face, is so stunningly beautiful. I can tell you I love you, But you will find nothing there, just the wind and sky and an overwhelming vastness. No, the tears don't stop. They simply have no name now. They never did. What is joy? What is sorrow? What is the hush in the garden moonlight reveals? Wrapped under winter's fallen footsteps, like an ache that has no name, no word, no word is minuscule enough or big enough to kiss her beauty. Love need not seek her shadow. It's in the ember of song that has burned in your heart ever since you can remember. Without your eyes, she cannot weep. Without your tongue, she cannot sing. Without you, she is not. Do not the stars fall through you on the path no one walked? Or are those your tears that paint this symphony of love? These tears that have no name nor number saturate the earth. Your feet fall through the ground, collapses, and you soar as the wind. The music of love, of sorrow, of joy that lost its shadow and name as it flows through you as you. You are the wind dancing in the soft caress of sunlight rippling through the trees. Without any place to land on this shoreless ocean, the vastness explodes and implodes in your heart. All your secret pockets have been turned inside out, and there is no place to hide, and no one left to run for cover in this all-encompassing brilliance that has seared even the sun with its love. Impossibly beautiful, this sadness that leaked into joy, these words that seemed to sever the sky into clouds and mountains and deep, deep canyons where the sun rarely sings, where only a breath of midnight ricochets its echo into the symphony. This music of echoes, of light and shadow, of infinite notes that were never separate, this song that has no melody or time plays itself across my mind stream. A wind ballet delicately shimmering across edgeless seas, I'm enchanted by the song that I am, that you are, that we are. The tears never cease, although you may not see them. Heartbreakingly beautiful, this life where we seem to touch, knowing we never really can. Simply a wondrous thought dream painting itself and erasing itself, like the light in last night's dream appearing in your skull. We hover in between what never happened and what never will. Thoughts of yesterday's love and sorrow, of winter songs and springtime flowers wilting on the dashboard in the hot summer sun. How wondrous thoughts of a never arising next stream through the backbeat, combing the sands into an hourglass of time. Yet you cannot find your shadow in the desert dream without the reflected light from another desert dancer. Here I am, I love you, you are beautiful. No one lost herself, no one was found. No one lost her wings or her feathered feet that never touched the ground or sky. There was not a someone, nor a no one, who left or entered the hall of dreams, where the walls are mirrors that resemble windows. They seem to shatter your reflection if you try to escape, yet may echo your heart song as you fall through yourself. She was a passion play that poured itself into a glass of sky, a storybook that lost its pages when there was no one to be free or bound. She dances with the stars and wind and fire that burnt even her shadow as the wind scattered her reflection across the vastness until there was only the shimmering. Yet she wanders the shadowlands and gazes at the beautiful dancers adrift on the sea of dreams. Love waltzes with love, and she weeps at the astounding wondrousness of knowing she is dreamt, that others are dreamt, and only through their eyes does she seem to have any solidity at all. Dream windows open into an edgeless sea, and the wind pours through her, and she sings of the wet and salt, and pounding waves that toss their heads back like horses' mane trampling even the slightest bit of ocean back into itself. This sun, this wind, these waves, this ocean, this shadow that slides down the path, through the village, through the morning, that stretches her arms around the cliffs, pouring honey on the sea, making shadows out of dreams that walk and dance and sing and weep, and feel the wind on their softness that never dries the tears, that have no name nor shadow. Endless petals, ever blooming, ever wilting, ever shimmering in the summer sun, the midnight moon. The dearth of light itself casts a shadow in your heart when you are waiting to capture the beauty that you are. A sigh, a glance, a cool wind from the north sings itself into your mind stream and writes its name on your lips. My mouth, my eyes, my very fingertips are saturated with a love that writes its name in your reflection that I fall through whilst I was looking for love. Endless echoes of love's reflection reverberate in this heart song that no one wrote, yet that writes me. A song, an ancient melody, where the words soar as infinite vastness itself weeps at the utter unknowable sublime spaciousness and the majesty of simply this life, this unbound life, that has no owner, no home, no place to hang your hat, no bench by the sea where we sit as wonder itself and gaze at the beauty of each other's eyes. Forest of sky, echoes, traces its fingertips on your lips. Nothing was hidden under your reflection. Love, another cloud castle, dissolved in this mirrored glance that weeps at its own brilliant transparency. Not even a kernel of someone left to know or wonder why. Trying to rearrange the sparkles in the sand to form a perfect reflection of what you never knew. Looking for a song you never forgot or heard. You are the longing to remember what has never not been, nor will ever be. Shadows float across the moon of desire. Can't you see your name casting shadows that midnight left on your beautiful face, on your beautiful tears, weeping for nothing, weeping for everything? The death of tomorrow shines. Trying to peer underneath the words, he discovered that underneath was a word. Trying to discover what was before thought, he found that before and after are thought. Sky surfs into its own reflection. Fringes of sunset melt in your eyes. Words echo into this dreamscape of memory and time. Words form and break a heart inside an empty treasure chest where you waited late one night. You cast your reflection into the sky, but no answer was revealed. Only the wind dancing in the trees, waving the long summer grasses, rippling the waters, sun dancing. So indescribably beautiful, you began to cry and have never stopped. There was no wind, there was no soft cheek, there were no tears that never dried. There never was a someone or a no one to cry or listen to your tears. We are the essence of life flowing. This slow, sensuous dance without sides echoes down the Grand Canyon of love. These spaces, these gaps, these moments are imaginary. There is nothing which separates us, only these imaginary faces no one wears. I see your broken-hearted beauty twirling down the canyon, gazing at your reflection, weeping. These tears are my persona, this laughter, this love, this banquet where no one feasts, sumptuous life tastes itself, sings itself, through these lips, this tongue, this heart, that exploded and imploded into everywhere and nowhere, such sublime, edgeless beauty, that I am, that we are, that this is. Shadows soar over carpet of moon. Wind scatters thought streams, rippling into this sea of dreams, sinking into unfathomable depths, swallows the known world, weaving and unraveling the edge of time. This sublime melancholia pirouettes into its own reflection and mirrors your nakedness. It is this empty breath that sings you. Not needing a doorway, you dance on the threshold between what never was nor will ever be. Light echoes from the stars, and your eyes and the welcome lamp that was never lit, nor was ever blown out. Love unfolds into itself, echoing a photoshopped copy of an old rerun that dances to the tune of numberless voices and melts in its own searing heat. Searching the map for a new horizon, you find everyone's deep, untold stories aching for release. They gather here before the morning breathes. Like this, the same dance step that no one ever took, flowering and wilting between the hush and the day that sings you. Infinite shades of not even nothing, breathing still, it seems, yet breath a song that sings itself. Irreplaceable, this suspension of space in space, this flow of light in light, where no one's feet have ever danced and no one's lips have ever uttered a word or kissed the starlight in your eyes. Here, yet not. Come closer. I cannot find my tears without your beautiful, beautiful eyes. Same sun, same moon, same breath, same heartache. Under this smile, these tears, these teeth, this skin, this mouth, this emptiness that so hungered for love, there was not even nakedness to be clothed. I am but a shadow of tears, streaming across illumined dust motes, dancing in the stern of a ship that never sailed. No echoes lost or gained under my footfalls in the hush of ancient songs. No longer looking for the treasure is the treasure. The shipwreck of ancient songs pierced my heart. There was no one at the helm, no sails, no one catching the wind, and no one wearing this nakedness, no one wearing the crown. It tumbled into its own bejeweled iridescence, splashing songs into its own wake, where even love died. Everyone, including myself, seemed like echoes of people I once knew. The river leaves no fingerprints on its own sublime wetness. Sad and beautiful, these tears that are my very substance. Combing the clouds for teardrops, she found only empty sky. She tried to pour the ocean into a paper cup so she could taste the vastness. Folding it into an origami heart, it sailed into itself, leaving only a wakeless wake of unspeakable beauty. The wind left the sails that now caught her reflection, merging with the colors of sunset. Memories of smiles and tears dissolved into the trackless ocean that no one crossed. This salty sweetness that no one swallowed. This ravishingly stunning emptiness that no one, no thing filled. Emptiness so vast, it has no vastness, rushes in and plunges its heart into yours, and it's a perfect fit. Bereft of purpose or time, the dagger that pierced love itself eviscerates you and scatters your shadow in the wind. You had no solidity at all. You were simply memories that left no footprints, that had no push, nor pull, nor tides, that sang a sea shanty of joy and sorrow, and of vast, edgeless moonscapes that drifted across an empty silhouette. Etched with sky in sky, no lines could be traced, yet you discovered your reflection weeping at the enormity of this unknowing, at the magnificence of this timeless dreamscape where no one was lost and no one was found. This vastness pulls you right back out of the bottomless depths where your echo fell into the sea and drowned in the fiery promenade of the setting sun. The oceans sing your nameless name with the tides that lost their momentum as they slammed into the rocks below the weight of this darkness that pours into itself through your heart. There were no hands to hold it, to measure its lonesome tracks in the sands that were always falling through an hourglass that lost its reflection when you fell through. This rich, unnameable vastness of utter unknowing sings a symphony of light that dances through its own light. It has no name, not even beauty or love, yet everyone knows it. It is always on the tip of your tongue, and yet the words evade even the most fluid poetry. It cannot be sung nor heard, but it's in the wind caressing your softness and the tree tops dancing, the long grasses waving hello, goodbye, hello. It is obvious always this magnificent aliveness that sings itself and has no need to borrow words to pinpoint itself on a map where there are no paths nor signs as everywhere and nowhere is always here. There is no there and no one to leave or arrive. You have always known this embrace of life that has no beginning nor end, and yet is always blooming and wilting. Without time or measure, the blossoms are the color in your smile and the wetness of your tears. What you feared is true. You are simply a flowing lover's kiss of thought, feeling, and sensation. You have no solidity at all, but you never did, so you cannot stop the falling into the falling that has always been on since the day you learned your name and that you will die. There are no handholds, no places to land, and there is no one to land. Only the whoosh falling through the whoosh. Light falls into space, space falls through space, and yet you turn when I call your name. There is no one to be a no one or a someone. You are pretense, yet no one is pretending. You are utterly naked, yet there is no one underneath your nakedness, no one wearing a smile, no one weeping. Footsteps in the dark, footsteps in the light. Morning sings. Nothing was left, nothing was gained, not even sorrow or delight in the wind. Playing in sunlight, beauty bathes melancholy, bathes joy, bathes your empty footfalls as they crumble, bathes your appearance and disappearance. Childlike wonder recognizes itself. Reflections dance across the canyon of empty shadows. Pools of echoes shimmer, singing day and night and infinite colors. Piercing me as it sings me, this wonder, my very breath, my very heartbeat, my very song, is not mine nor yours. It is ours. We walk nakedly, together we find our hands, our hearts, our breath, our song, this love, this life, this unknowable, fleeting, magnificent aliveness. What is sorrow? What is joy? What is the sound of a plum blossom falling? What is the distance between the death of tomorrow? Why is the song of midnight so beautiful? Infinite hues of shadow echo and soar, surge and subside simultaneously. Paint the nighttime streets with footsteps. Plum blossoms swirl around my feet and dress the winds of memory. Nothing was caught or lost. This web of sorrow and joy is empty, yet shimmers in the streetlights as it self-releases. The taste of my own lips fills a paper cup of moon. Drinking deeply, life swallows itself. How long are you going to pretend that you will never die? How long are you going to pretend that there is a God or consciousness or some loving force looking out for you? How long are you going to pretend that you are on a road to a place of perfect love and peace and bliss, where no one is angry and everyone loves each other forever? There is no place to rest. There are no handholds. You are falling and have been since the day you were born. When the whoosh falls into and through the whoosh, when never and forever collide, when you realize that this is it, just as it seems to appear, you realize that there is no other, better, more, or next, that there are no separate things or moments to be perfect or non-perfect. Your heart drops, and all that love that you were terrified to feel, for fear that you might lose it, floods your being. This knowing feeling that you are not separate from life, whatever it looks or feels like. There is a simple joy and ease and quiescence that is undeniably the peace, the love you have always sought, and you know that it has always been this way. You just never noticed. Shadows swirl from the treetops, spilling onto these pages, saturating these words that bleed onto the sidewalk, pooling in echoes of their own reflection. Love sings its bittersweet song in waves of sorrow and joy. The loss of tomorrow catapulted you over the rainbow until all was treasure, your beautiful, shining tenderness, whose words were pressed between the pages of your heart, not yours or mine. When the binding of belief unraveled, autumn leaves soaring, clear blue sky, self-illumined wonder. I can hear you singing softly in the morning bird song, in the afternoon winds that caress my face, in the colors of the end of day that no one won, in the midnight hush that led nowhere. And her words flowed like liquid sunshine, pouring through an empty prism and melting the coldest of hearts. And when the sigh of unknowing untrampled the grasses where love lay bleeding, the sun rose on her nakedness, and a wind of perfection kissed her cheek where tears would never dry. Hope and fear, the guard dogs of the heart, rip you to shreds as you fall through. The mirror of who you were crashes into its own reflection, leaves no one standing. Blood pools in concert with its own redness, astounded at the fluidity that has no direction, wet in wet in wet in wet. This and that dancing, splashing in waves of pure iridescence, edges within edgelessness, form within formlessness, color and light illuminating a shadow that no one wore. No one's hands were lost or found, yet they seemed to play the game, casting shadows, skipping stones across the rippleless sea. Ancient patterns in a threadbare carpet echo and hum, yet cannot be traced. Sunlight shifts across the fibers, attention moves and rests. Inside and outside have merged. Plum blossoms pirouette down the street. Wind breathes me. Silence of unknowing sings throughout the day. A gentle wonder dances. In the shade, in the shadows, love lies nestled underneath the fallen leaves. In the garden, midnight dances, and you follow your footsteps into the fecundity of life. Such brilliance cannot be missed or kissed. Light falls through light and explodes into this very love song. This heart has never been contained in a treasure chest. Feeling exceedingly deeply, I never wanted to not feel so much. It seemed like others had calluses, I did not. Yet knowing there are no others, feeling their intense beauty, whispering I love you constantly under my breath, under these words, soothes some lonely, aching hearts. Now there is no concern as to whose pain, whose sorrow, whose joy, whose words, whose footsteps were dancing late last night, wrapped in the broken hearts of everyone and no one, caressed by the last breath of the song of midnight. Sky flowers bloom and fall. Mountain appears through the mist. Empty footfalls end. Echoes have no source. No one was going anywhere. No one was going nowhere. No one arrived. No one was left behind. No one disappeared. There is breathing, weeping, laughing, toasting the sunset. Colors swirl in my glass, reflecting ideas of emptiness and fullness, dancing, drinking deeply life, life drinking me. Tsunami of love, soft and fierce, caressed and split apart my heart, like tender, delicate rootlets growing deep, 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 breaking heavy boulders, tentacles of utter emptiness untied the strings that held up the sky, and surging waves exploded into infinite wetness. Were these my tears that rained iridescent jewels into rippling meadow streams, into deep canyon rivers, into edgeless seas where I once set out on a wooden boat, looking for my dreams, and discovered that I was the dream? Wonder strolls through the morning, showering golden leaves across this path, tracing these steps in echoing sky. And who walks, and who marvels, and who weeps endlessly of this unfathomable life that sweeps sorrow and joy into piles of autumn leaves that scatter again in the evening wind. Echoes reflect scattered footfalls, treetops dance in the wind, golden leaves soar down the canyon, the hush before sunset sings. Wind rustles ideas of emptiness into songs, soaring freely through this mind stream, painting blue on sky. Caress of wind, my breath. Ideas of inside and outside scatter. Mountains appear through morning mist. Pieces of sky shimmer and dance and rearrange themselves into castles in midair. You look down and find your feet have never been on the ground, and they begin to look as empty as the vastness. And it is, you are, like a moving, all encompassing, bejeweled 3D light show. Indeed, it is wondrous beyond measure, this dream that you are. Your boat always had a leak. You were the shimmering on the bottomless sea. Falling happens, wings grow silently, screaming. Words seem to capture space in a box, a brick of nothing, meaningless, yet appearing to mean something, a wall, an edifice, a blanket, a shield, a barrier. Light aches to get through your heart, aching to be ruptured, to be broken forever. Riding backwards across the sky, tears up your reflection, rips away your footfalls and their echo. Jewels gleam untouched, ungraspable facets cut through their own sparkling, like a knife in the soft palate of your heart. Tasting the fullness, you dream of more, and you are lost forever in your desire to know, to capture, to hold the unholdable. Until the spark, the ember, the fire of your own love burns your hand, burns your heart to the ground, and your ashes are swept away by the winds of your own desire. Love's memories paint this nothingness into a flowing dreamscape of you, spaceless beingness, like a reflection on a ripple, an echo in a dream. There's nothing to find and no one to find it, and life is neither lost nor found when it is no longer yours. It is sublimely serene. The sound of rain on the fabric of my umbrella, street lights shining through, this golden light painting a jeweled surface on the black nighttime pavement. Drops like precious gems sparkle against the dark sky, and the radiance, the brilliant shining transparency of this empty luminosity, this naked, fleeting momentary. And love flows, that is its nature. It flows like water eroding and erasing the imaginary edges that define things, and it is unmistakably the precious gem in this ungraspable, sparkling stream we call life. How you longed to capture this surge of life. Chasing your tail created a spinning that seemed to have a center. Forever trying to grasp space felt like a caress of air between your fingers, and a tingling notion deep inside that your hands would forever remain empty. How can one recognize the futility of trying to grasp life, trying to hold it, trying to stop it, right here, right here, right here, as if you could swallow the sky and paint the blueness in your heart forever? But what is blue? What is sky? What is that ache in your heart that you have felt your entire life? Blue in blue in blue in blue. There were never any separate pieces of sky, yet these shards pierced your heart with sky magic and wrote love letters with rain, with tears, reflecting your beautiful shining splendor through infinite shades of colored rainbow magic. Shadows flow through the shadows, light through light. Wonderment ripples and surges into song that echoes your reflection on the waves, beckoning you to dance. This life, this life, this dance, this ballet, pirouetting wings, unfolding, extending everywhere and nowhere into the empty spaciousness where forever and never collided. Filigreed light shadows pouring over the moonlit sea, the fullness of emptiness sighs, nighthawks swoop and swirl in the shadow of the moonlight and never catch the day. Moonlight weeps at its own reflection dancing across the rippling waves. In the kiss of night, where darkness meets fullness, radiance blossoms and falls. I could see the notes clearly, hanging from ropes of twining space in the vast blueness, but I lost my eyes in the seeing of it, and there was only the vastness, where memories played and danced across the mind screen, where laughter and sorrow folded into the depths without time. There was an outbreath, a hush, and ripples sparkled in the moon song that had no name. Your breath, my breath, wind beneath our feet, dancing as this warm summer's breeze. Your tears, my tears, wetness falling in, rushing torrents, lightly skimming ripples, tears of nowhere, tears of no one, dissolved in kisses. Tears uncounted, unnamed, ocean saltiness, iridescent stillness, waving. Nothing, everything, shadows never kissing, melting songs of homelessness and the loveliness of home. Like a song that you sang long ago but you have never heard. You cannot remember the words or the melody, yet you can feel it deeply. Twining, twirling, echoed reflections dancing, shimmering, flowing down the canyon, moonlight sings and it sounds like love. Only through each other's eyes can we see ourselves, catch a glimpse of our beauty, and your eyes are my eyes. We need a little imaginary separation in order to touch, in order to gaze into each other's beauty and say, I love you. Songs pour through me, casting ripples as we are adrift on this shoreless ocean, this sea of dreams, rudderless without anchor or place of shelter. Oh, this unspeakable fluid ease of boundless, vast, pure spaciousness, kissing endless sky, sun dancing liquid light, shimmering shadows calling hello, goodbye, hello. I offer rhythmic syllables that rock you gently, washing over you, under you, through you, a caress of song. Yet you who no longer search for a lullaby, know you will drown. You can feel the tsunami approach. Sea is rising, sky is falling. Oceans of tears greet their salty home. No one said this would be easy, having your world ripped asunder, having your blood and guts and heart ripped up. But you wanted this, remember, more than anything else. Here it is. It has always been here, gently gnawing at your heart. There's no turning back now. There is no back. This is it, Coyote. And when all boundaries are dissolved, there are no more empty spaces that need to be filled. Night swoops in and grabs your lonely feet. Dawn is just a heartbeat away. Fear of the dark has lost its hold. Headlights mark your empty footsteps. Their rhyme and rhythm merges with the heartbeat of existence. Closer than close, closer than the tongue in your mouth, closer than thoughts or feelings. There was never a space between your heart and your head, or the distant sky and love. Through the mist, mountain tops, laughter reflects in cloudy sky, falling into my reflection. I hear the winds laughing, the receding waves sink into the sunlit sand, backwards tumbling, rainbows laughing, echoes dancing, sea of dreams, infinite permutations, colors dancing, reaching out, sliding through my own echo. Hello, goodbye, hello. Echoed heart song, wind-swept beaches, empty dreams, simply this symphony of perception, fantastical kaleidoscopic light and sound show falling through itself. You are the song of the canyon, caressing, touching, hearing itself, within its own echoes as it washes through rippling memories, rushing, roaring, falling into its own sunset kiss. Not two, not one, not neither, not both, not this nor that, not freedom nor bondage, no place left to land, no one who can, neither confusion nor non-confusion, nor light or dark, not locationless or located, not up or down, not lost or found, neither wet nor dry, nor sun nor shade. Here we are speaking of nothing. Isn't that amazing? Lines like filigreed percussions of emptiness swirling into apparent thingness. Reverberating echoes fill and empty your heart, resounding nothingness dissolved into itself, not even nothing to be found. All the words ever uttered will not unlock the sky. Not until an ocean of tears is ripped out of your chest will the heavens kiss endless seas and blueness flow through you as you. What was it that broke the mirror and ripped you to shreds as you fell through? It was your own reflection, weeping. Rippling, flowing through all and everything and nothing. Thunder roars in your veins. It is the sea boiling. This vibrancy, this tsunami of unfettered life, falling, rushing through you, moves you, dances you, sings the song of you. When the center, the tight knot, the bewildering, terrifying assumption that you are doing it is ripped open, the roller coaster of hope and fear jumps the tracks, and there is sailing with no need to grasp the tiller or man the sails. It was an illusion that you had to go somewhere, or that there was somewhere to go, or that there was anyone who could go anywhere or nowhere. And the sun and moon slide across the sky, and stars sparkle so. Rainbows flow through you as you, when your shadow is no longer in the way. The passion play writes itself in the sky and never leaves a trace to read. We are snapshots of skywriting, cloud reflections rippling through pristine natural stillness, a dance unlike any other, empty footfalls crumbling. Wheels on cobblestones, rushing headlights, motors dancing, palm fronds sliding repetition in the shadows like a piano playing a duet with itself. It's always been a player piano. No fingers ever touched a key. The melody, so sublime, wraps around you, through you, in you. It has always been you. There is nothing outside of this. Everything is included. Where else could it possibly be? You have always been naked. I recognize your nakedness as it is mine. Simply this, of itself so, sea of sighs, filled with tears, reflecting unseen rainbows in our beautiful, beautiful eyes. Tattooed with smiles and tears, nothing underneath my nakedness. No one wears the stars or sunlight dancing. Garden path has no wanderer. Echoes bloom. Thought weaves a thinker. Spiderweb catches the last light. Day falls into the cat's cradle of dark. Plunged into the sea of unknowing, still wind and light play on the surface. No overarching truth, only sky and sea, sun and moon and stars. No words can contain this light that has no questions or answers. No empty pages need be filled with the petals of today. Colors cascade down the canyon, echo on the walls, slide into your footsteps. Sing these flowers blooming, dance these winds through your shadow, explode your very heart that the ink washed through, that wrote the tales of last summer's love songs, that etched your twirling silhouette into sky, this sensuous lostness of wind and sun and sky, soaring, skinless, bathed with color and primordial melodies that sing these very words. Walking through morning, light pours me inside out. Pirouette of mirrors, love recognizes itself. Infinite facets of my own reflection eviscerate the illusion of solidity. This clear fluidity drinks me. I soar through this vast, unknowable unknown, without wings or any place to land. No words, so many words. Spring blossoms and falls, scattering velvet petals among our footfalls that no one can follow or grasp or trace. Even memory flows along the river that we drowned in long ago, far away, when we lost the belief that we were unchanging. Wind sings our name. Our name is love. It beckons us. It is us. It is a bittersweet, beautiful melancholy time. Life, sadness, joy, awe happen for no one to no one, yet I am here sobbing. Emptiness a word to try to swallow the ocean, consciousness another to try to calm the sea, truth an idea, an imaginary port on these edgeless waters, God a concept to try to hide your naked aloneness, this ever-looming horizon, sunset beckons. I see your broken-hearted beauty through these eyes that are not mine, through these lips, this tongue, these teeth, these words that we share sing themselves. This edgeless momentary that burns itself is the fire of your aliveness. Slipstream of life, wind, my empty breath, flower of moon, falls through this open hand. Drinking deeply this softness, falling petals paint the tapestry of wind flowing through itself. Glass casts its own shadow, illuminates your reflection, dissolves as you swallow life as it swallows you. Wind blows, hearts beat and break, rain and tears fall, gathering in pools of echoes that shimmer in their own reflection. For no reason the moon rises, and shadows of memory flow across the leaf-scattered path that no one followed, that no one danced upon. Yet you find yourself dancing with the darkness and the sliver of ancient moon. The garden a stage where we seem to meet in this birth of night touching day, in between sky. We no longer look for shadows under the wind's gathering of leaves from autumn, no more dreams to burn. Winter clothes itself with tears, its nakedness reaches up through the long silence. Love melts the shadows of ice crystals flowing. The darkness was never empty nor full. You could no longer hide from your own shadow or your own beautiful reflection. It burnt its name in your heart, that you treasured for a while, until the vastness claimed itself. Spring grew into summer, and time flowed back into and through itself. Where is the beginning and end of sky, when sky is your nakedness, your aloneness, the majesty that no one wears? Drowned, dissolved as the sea of edgeless beauty, my sourceless reflection soars over the billowing ripples of love's sacred melody, echoing the heartbeat of one, of two, of many, of none. Under this rainbow raiment of a poet's song, behind these liquid eyes of love, beneath this naked, unadorned, sky-like wonder, there is not even nothing at all. There is not something inside us which loves so deeply. It is who we are. You don't have wonder. You are wonder itself. You don't know beauty. You are beauty itself. You can't know love. You are love itself. I am the reaching out to touch, knowing there is no touching. I am the midnight love song fading in the morning mist. I am the embrace of the river weeping at its own wetness. I am the ache of nothing melting into these very words that slide across your mind stream and fabricate fairy tales of a beautiful waltz, a pas de deux, a syncopated beat rippling through the farthest reaches of your memory, knocking on the doors to a knowing feeling that this beautiful life has no rhythm, no rhyme, no meaning, nor non-meaning, nor any one to find it. I am the longing to catch life in a bottle and send it to you, so you can press this opalescent shell to your ear and hear the seas sing your name. Life calls you, beckons you to dance beyond these words, yet there is not even nothing behind the curtain or underneath your magnificent tears, no one loving this love. Drinking deeply this life that you have longed for and feared has been drinking you. It has always been your beautiful iridescence that crashed into itself on parallel lines, fading into the distance. They could never meet as they were never apart. We could never meet as we have never been apart. I am the reaching out to touch, knowing we can never touch. This touchless touch of your own embrace. The film unwinds itself, celluloid transparency painted on both sides. Nothing in the middle erases the sides. No pictures caught in this wave, reflecting day above, dark below. Kissed in between the wet, you drown in your own echo. Seashells worn with the rush and ebb of tides reveal your seamless beauty. Seabird flies through cloud and sun, shadows drink the day. This sensuous lostness, pathless land, kisses you, where never and forever collide. I spied my reflection in the garden pond, my hair bedecked with fallen leaves, golden greens wet with sky hovering over the deepness. This penetrating beauty cannot see itself, even in daylight. In the depths of midnight, the unfathomable nature of love beckons your heart to fall, to plummet, to swoon into its empty echo, as love needs edges to fall through itself. A great wind sweeps through me, and it is me, fills me, empties me, and the cat sleeps unaware of her beauty. There are no words for wordlessness, yet my thumb taps the glass and songs flow. Shattered mirrors of smiles form rivulets for tears. There is no light without dark. No one wants to hear about their ultimate emptiness, their ultimate aloneness. Yet for some, this beautiful, naked, unadorned life, the starkness of emptiness, dancing, beckons. Enchanted with the magic of not knowing, of not being able to swallow infinite blue, your heart explodes as you dissolve into the kiss of liquid sky. The wet of wet, the taste of taste, inside and out, lose their sides, and there is no one left to win. Trackless, unowned memories reflect your delicate fingerprints as they fade in the dusk. Breathtakingly, ravishingly, unfathomable, unspeakable, emptiness unwound your seamless borders and unraveled all ideas that seemed to separate you from deep, deep sorrow and unspeakable joy. You were everything and nothing at all, simultaneously everywhere and nowhere, drinking your shadow as it swirls in this empty, bottomless, sideless cup. It overflows in a love dance as it swallows you utterly and completely. You are the love poem that echoed in the distant canyon that summer's eve when you first discovered how to dance. That mournful feeling when you took your first step. That beautiful sorrow when love died. That smile that seems to weep without end. The sublime heartache of knowing you are nothing but an ephemeral thought dream, and all whom you have ever loved nothing more than a midnight kiss that has blazed your heart with tattoos of infinite faces, of countless sorrows, of unfettered joy, and sings this intimate song that sings you. Edgeless fluidity streams without movement, sings without sound, yet it is heard as it echoes in the depths of your being. Closer than close, closer than your heartbeat, closer than love, it is profoundly felt as it dances you. You realize you are a tattered daydream, and there is no it, no nothing, no everything, no emptiness. You are not close nor far, as even placelessness dissolves into the paper cup that is dissolving in your very drinking of these words that seem to capture the aliveness you feel. This has no words and includes all words, as the beauty of this naturally occurring magnificence floors you, knocks your socks off, and leaves you breathless. All and everything is known to be a watercolor daydream dissolving into its own wetness. Its own colors swallow themselves in their thirst to dance. Untraceable superperfection is exquisite in its ambiguousness and obvious when there is no finger upon the rim of your glass trying to catch the music that streams from its own reflection. Yet the finger is perfection itself, for where would you be without a point of view? There was never a moon in your cup, nor its reflection, nor a glass to catch it, nor hands nor heart to hold it. You drink deeply as moonlight beckons in this ecstatic love dance that swirls again as you tip your glass and watch your reflection kiss itself. Beauty reveals itself like this. Amidst the hustle and bustle, she heard the strains of her heart song, and the slow dance began. She held out her gloved hand for the last waltz, and fell through her partner, through herself, into her own embrace. The dance floor fell away. The great hall dissolved into space. She was the music and the dance, and the wind silently breathing, utterly, sublimely, bittersweetly alone. Midnight winds eased down the canyon, tearing a loose shutter, to sing its song everyone recognized, but no one could follow a heartbeat, without rhyme or rhythm, An ache of a memory bled into the vastness. A shadow danced. There were not even bones that rattled. Love's magic pierced your heart as sea rose up and smashed into sky and crushed you utterly. Your smile, your teeth, your skin, your lips, your tongue, your blood, your heart, the very innermost core of your being exploded, imploded, and love bled into the dream. You found you are the sky and the rainbow, light dancing with itself, the treasure, the beauty, the magic you had longed for. Sunset waves reflect your tears, sea kissing sky, kissing sea, drowning in each other's echoed love songs, bathed in your own beauty, swallowed by your infinite smile, washed away in fields of rippling shine and shadow. Your heart was never hidden at the end of the rainbow. It exploded into infinite perfection, and you have never lost it, as it was never yours. It was only the idea that it was separate from you that formed you and made you a seeker of your own love. Tears echo your flowing iridescence, falling softly on a hot summer's night, reminding you of your precious humanness, bathed in your own nakedness. We are watercolor thought dreams painted in pure space, echoing madly the song of the universe. And what is this kiss of emptiness, weeping at its own beauty? He stood on the edge of the precipice, starlight flooding his nakedness, and he wondered if his lovers had ever existed. He wondered if love was also a dream. The night hawk swooped. Its shadow overwhelmed him as he stared into the void, and the void stared back. What is the sound of one heart weeping? You are it, this kiss of madness, this song without words, a lover's kiss falling effortlessly into placeness, unplanned, unutterably supreme, measureless magnificence. He was the ache of the evening, the song of the sidewalks, the dark encroaching, and the pool of light. He was the night hawk swooning and the sirens blazing, the hush of the evening and the silence before dawn. He was the song of the dancers in the empty bar hall, the cricket's love song, and the chorus of the sprinklers. Empty footsteps in the night. A gossamer light gown shimmering reflections. Intimate jewelry sing of the day pouring into night. Rose petals falling echo the wind, color the soft song of summer. Breath of moonlight sings of morning's slumber. In this garden, winter sleeps. Under the shadow, no one gathers light. It pools by itself, drinking the day. Within the symphony of perception, there is an undeniable silence singing. Within the dance of time, there is a stillness moving. Within the dance of time, there is a stillness moving. Words seem to create a wall between a you and what is going on. Trying to erase your timeline creates it. Trying to peer beneath the words writes them. Under your beautiful garment of utter nakedness, there is not even nothing. You have never been separate. You are the centerless, radiant, indivisible jewel, slow dancing in wild magnificence. Even meaninglessness loses its grasp. The primordial hum of your own aliveness, always on, always magnificent, is only recognized through this web of imaginary thingness. This cat's cradle never caught a piece of sky, yet sky and all and everything is magnificent beyond measure, unbearably beautiful. Wordless wonder sings as we dissolve into each other's shadows, overlapping like midnight ocean. River kisses itself through your lips, night drinks day, life swallows you. As you tip this empty glass, marveling at your own reflection, swirling down the river, scintillating aliveness, breathes wind, breathes you, breathes the waves that capsized the ocean, where's the sun and moon drowned. Where is everything? Where is nothing? Where is the place where love and emptiness kiss? Where is the shine? Where is the shadow? Where is the place where long green grasses wave over your grave? Who took an empty breath when there was no one breathing, no one weeping, no one singing? Sunset fills your skies. Death's brush colors your aliveness with unbearable preciousness, sailing nowhere, yet there is wind. This scintillating aliveness shines, rippling wet through wetness, heartbeat of this and that sings. No safe harbor where you can hide, no map or sextant, yet stars and moon and sun slide across the vastness. Looking for a new day seems to obscure the sun that is shining, that is setting. I see your tender beauty reflecting in your eyes. This is our only home, this dream of dancing shadows. Can you see your reflection on the canyon wall, sliding along with the moonscape, rushing towards the sea? I remember when the parameters of who I thought I was began to fall away. Such an immense feeling of freedom. At first, they were ideas that I didn't like about myself, yet soon I realized, like a punch in the gut, that the ideas about myself that I liked would have to go as well. As I began to feel freer and freer, it seemed like the goal, so to speak, would be to feel free of my afflictive feeling and thought and be washed away into nothingness. I fell and fell and fell until there was no one to fall, nowhere to land, no one to land, no reference points whatsoever. I was suspended as nothingness, and it was nothing to sing about. When the fullness rushed in that summer afternoon, I wept and wept and wept and wept. Here were all the feelings I was trying to get rid of, full on. This nakedness that no one wore was inseparable from feeling. No feelings are owned. I get to feel it all. The world weeps through me. There is no actual color outside your brain, just wavelengths of varying degree. How marvelous we perceive brightly colored objects. The brains of some birds and butterflies seem to be responding to wavelengths our brains apparently do not respond to. Yet we can never know what the world or color looks like to them, or our closest lover. I wandered through a garden of sunflowers, swirling in goldfinches, and ponds of sparkling song, looking for the other side of love. The kiss of a beggar hungering for her own lips, drinking silent sorrow. It was there in the softness of yellow. It was there in the swooping of wings. It was there as I gazed at my reflection on the muddy banks, where cottonwoods thrust their thirsty dragon feet into the wetness and stretched their arms and feathered hands into sunlight. It was never lost, this bursting heart. It only seemed to fade as I learned the names of color. Looking for winged moonglow, soaring as the sparkling river of memory, as infinite facets of yesterday. Doves hover by the feeder, one crashes into my window and leaves her feathered glance on the glass. She flies away into the garden, and her magic of flight alights on my lips. For it is this kiss I have always been, the desire to dance, this song of life, as it sings me. Deep within the desert, I lost my meandering footprints, trying to lose my aloneness, my lostness that was always on the tip of my tongue. I poured 1,000 sorrows into a china cup and placed it on the windowsill and left it for the moon to swallow. Diaphanous dragon clouds drank its iridescence, and my tears traced delicate shades of unknowing into this paper heart that kept folding into itself as it was ripped apart by the recognition of my ultimate emptiness. I could not take refuge under the oak tree that stretched out its limbs to gather sunlight, as it was grown in sky. All cloud castles crumbled. The scaffolding of hope that held up my world toppled. Dreams of another step were filled with a heaviness and a sweet ache that was swallowed by the very earth, this very song that blossoms into this color, this sound, this very light of darkness, this weight of light that swoons into itself within the racing river of my heart. No longer mine, this origami heart that was simply made of imaginary lines drawn around a shimmering river of echoed vastness unfolded. All ideas of love flew away with tomorrow. Shadows dance on the sidewalk. Midnight flowers bloom. Night air sparkles and awe abounds. Love swoons into itself. And when did the sun plan to shine upon your tears and the wind to dry them? When did the moon plan to pull your heart into the sky? Broken necklaces in the sand like scattered love letters, jewels flung across the universe. Your eyes are starlight dancing. Translucent tears color infinity. It's all a flowing self portrait. There are no things to understand as this vast vacancy is empty of even emptiness. It's this beautiful unknowing that you fear that defines you as you sense this will be the end of you. You may run down Main Street into the forest, fleeing your utter nakedness, but your love will find you and expose every secret corner of your being until there is nowhere left to hide, until there is nowhere to run and no one to run. Life is slippery when it's realized that life has no edges, nor do you. A most wondrous feeling of lostness can occur, and an intuitive knowing that this knowing cannot be captured. I emerge from the flowing, casting stones across the waters, delighting in watching the rippling reflections, amazed at my own amazement, merging again into the seamless river, the home I never left. There was no one to leave or arrive. Cricket song smooths the edges where you tried to scratch a hole into the sky, where your heart lay bleeding into the sunset, past and gone. Where is this gash apart from wonder? Where is this love apart from you? Where is anything? Where is nothing? The love, the silence, the cacophony of traffic, softly padding feet on shadowed sidewalk, sliding into the patterns that are only glimpsed out of the corner of your eye. Memories have lost their grip, and I cannot find them. A few swirl around to remind me of who I was, walking in moonlight, streetlight, midnight. Wind is a word, yet it points to seamless beauty cast by imaginary lines, simultaneously arising and disappearing, yet recognized. Some realize the seeing is not separate from the seer or the seen, all three just clumsy ways of describing the same unutterable, unknowable. Life paints and erases itself. I held moonlight in the palm of my hand and saw my own face in the wonder. Spring rains, seasons flowing, unbound treasure. How I used to long for the first robin song. This is it, she whispered. There is no that, nor this. This broken-hearted beauty paints our silhouette with sky in sky. The paint falls off the glass, and the transparency of even love shines through. Sky just as vast and ungraspable in the nighttime dream, lit from within, lit from without. The moon shines not from the sun, but in your eyes. Through these eyes of aliveness that no one wears, brilliant, searing transparency illuminates our reflection through each other's eyes. Liquid eyes of fire, looking through this lens of love, dissolving into our own desire. Chrysanthemum clouds billow and weep. We watch ourselves blown away, ashes in the wind. Leaves fall like abandoned dreams, webs untangle where hope and fear used to reside. Ashes, ashes, ashes. Flung into the night like stardust, swirling on the dance floor of sky. There are no corners where they can gather. All your pockets have been unfurled. The softest breath sighs into its own sigh. Imaginary lines disappear. There are no words, and yet we sing. There is nothing to say, really, but I love you seems to work just fine. Fire burns, wind blows, tears fall, life flows. There is nothing outside of life doing it. It does itself. The dance dances itself, the song sings itself, the painting paints itself. This passion play writes itself on the wind with wind, and it all blows away as it is written. How many moments in a dream? What is the taste of tasting? How many moonbeams will fill your cup to overflowing? Where is the end of sadness? How many colors in the song of midnight? How many tears in this empty cup? How many words to capture sky? Hands fall into the very breezes that they are made of. Without edges or corners, there is no place left to hide, no place to hang your hat in sky. No points can touch their own lips, no lips can kiss themselves. The stream of desire melts itself as it burns into your beautiful iridescence, and the chill of midnight swells the stars with magnificent awe. I live on the shores of this endless sea of dreams where forever crashes into never, and fullness collides with emptiness, where you and I meet and swoon into each other in this kiss that kisses us, where cats prowl nightly and miss the beauty of their own moon shadow. Waves rush into the rocks, and discarded shells are washed in and out, tumbling into their own magnificent whorls and swirls of ancient time that writes itself on your fingertips. Life, a tone poem, slides through itself and seems to leave a residue of song, a breath of emptiness, astounding, an atemporal syncopation, this dancing, this whispering scream, these silent hearts beating in rhythmless rhythm, no reason or rhyme, a contrapuntal love song echoing dreams that mirror forgotten words where love reminds us of our beauty, and glistening overtones dance and sparkle across endless seas where the sky is always kissing itself. And the leaves and the wind are one dance, effortlessly, naturally, simply so, without reason or rhyme, and completely without any compulsion to discover any meaning. I dance as the leaves in the treetops. Everywhere I look, there is only this dance. I cannot conceive of there being separate things that are somehow reacting to each other like random billiard balls, or that there is a plan or a source or a script or a place where it needs to arrive. And I sing of this unicity, and I watch as others listen and put my song into boxes of already conceived ideas of what this is like. And the wind continues to dance and swirl and blow down the canyon. Sky swooped down and swallowed you in its blueness, and you are the clouds. Wind blows through you, and you are the wind, and all of it, no matter its appearance, seems like your heart's desire. The beautiful heartache you ran away from touches you, grabs you, and pierces you with your own tender love. A joyful sorrow, a seamless, scintillating light flowing into and through itself through your beautiful, beautiful eyes. Ever-shifting leaf shadows play along the carpet, so beautiful their dance, lightly tripling. A sunbeam catches a crystal and rainbows slide along effortlessly, all shifting color, light, and shadow. Unable to mark where one begins and another ends, the magnificence continually blows me away. He longed to be more in the now, but he could not find an edge, and end or beginning to it. He tried to align himself with reality, but he could not find a space or line between him and what was going on. He wanted to expand his awareness, his consciousness, but he could not find an edge or an end of it, or something apart from it that could pull it or stretch it. How could he make larger something which had no edges? He longed to fall into edgelessness, yet he could not find anything apart from him to fall into. Every effort was thwarted, and every non-effort failed to bring him closer to what he thought he wanted. The treasure, the golden marvel, the jewel, supreme spaciousness began to swallow his ideas of nothing and everything, including him. She had been reaching out to touch the magnificence, to pluck the flower, to learn the words to the dance, to swallow vast blueness, to fall into the sky, to hold her heart, to bask in the warmth, the magic, the life she felt was so fleeting, so beautiful, she could not bear the thought that it would end some day. Every handhold crumbled, and every footfall continued unplanned, and every song sang itself without rehearsal. There was no ticket to the dance, no key to unlock the treasure. She had never needed to look for it, as it was the looking for it that seemed to hide it. She was the flower, she was the magic, the impermanence and ungraspability was its very beauty. And shine fell through shadow, and only the dance remained. He tried to erase himself, but every move he made etched his shadow deeper into the street of time, incising his name in his heart with shards of broken mirrors. How could there be a path to wholeness, to oneness? He noticed an ease when his thoughts were slow, yet night came whether he thought about it or not. Thought seemed to disrupt the flow and create waves and whirlpools and riptides in the shimmering, but oh, the reflections were so beautiful. He tried to do nothing and tried all kinds of ways to be free, but they all just drew the noose in tighter until every step, every breath was an effort. Every heartbeat was heavy, like a bubble in molasses. He could no longer move nor not move. Painted into a corner of his own desire, there were no more footprints to follow. He realized he had never done nor not done anything ever in his life. He could trace his life in the watercolored images as they floated across the screen, but it no longer felt like his life. It was like a movie of a dream. He had forgotten his lines, but he always knew what to say. He had forgotten his part, but it always seemed to play itself, just as it has always done. The sun rose itself, and the moon captured his heart every evening, as it had never been his heart. He spied some empty footprints and was captivated by a melancholy essence of what he knew not. Lured by a memory of a scent, of a goal, of something to capture, he followed them. He found his feet matched perfectly as they wandered together, apart, in the darkness, in the lonely desert, past the mirages where he knew there was nothing that could quench his thirst, past the caravans where colorful people danced and sang, trying to keep the darkness away. He grew weary and began to wonder if it was the path he wanted, but he could not stop his tears as they began to fill the imprints. The sides began to crumble. He saw his reflection in the dying light and realized he had been following himself, looking for his own tail, his own love, his own embrace. His heart was pierced by his own song. He looked back and could not find his footprints, and gazing ahead, he could find no path. Looking down, his shoes were empty. Looking up, there was a memory of a shadow saturated with his reflection in sky. Moonlight rushed through his nakedness, and there was only the song of diamonds shimmering, skimming the surface of a bottomless sea. A shadow raced across the vastness. He looked up and never found the shape of darkness. Light pouring into light, winds whispering songs of love, phantoms dancing, circling and swallowing the sun. Drowned, dissolved as the sea of edgeless beauty, my sourceless reflection soars over billowing ripples of love's sacred melody, echoing the heartbeat of one, of two, of many, of none. Under this raiment of a poet's song, behind these liquid eyes of love, beneath this naked, unadorned sky-like wonder, there is not even nothing at all.